Kirnu's Cream CM is a fantastic MIDI performance plugin that turns basic MIDI parts into complex riffs, arpeggiations and bass lines. It doesn't make any sounds of its own, instead it's designed to help you get more out of your favourite instruments. In this project we're using the same simple MIDI chord progression for our massive and silent 1 parts, but they sound quite different because we're using 2 instances of Cream CM, one to turn the chords into a bass line for massive, the other to transform the same chords into an arpeggiated lead for silent 1. You can use Cream CM with your own instruments in just the same way. Once you've installed Cream CM, load up your DAW and you should find it in the list of available instruments. We're using Ableton Live for this example, but you can use your own host software. If you're not sure how MIDI routing works in your DAW, please consult its documentation. In a new project, create 2 MIDI tracks. Put June CM, including the CM plugins folder, on the first track and Cream CM on the second. Bring up June CM's interface and click the Bank B button in the central panel to initialize the patch. We can quickly make a trancey lead sound by turning up Oscar One's fat knob to 50%. While you're at it, turn down the volume knob in the output panel to 25%, so the synth's output doesn't clip the master channel. If the sound is too bright to your ears, feel free to turn down the cutoff in the filter section to make it duller. We're going to add a little optional delay and reverb to the signal to make it sound a little bit more polished. KR Delay CM and CM Verb from the CM plugins folder are ideal for this. In the MIDI From section, set the June CM channel's input type to 2 Cream CM and input channel to Cream CM. Set the channel's monitoring mode to In. You should now be able to play June CM via the Cream CM channel. Check out Cream CM's interface. You'll see by default its range is set from C1 to B2. We want to be able to use the whole keyboard, so turn the upper range of the key area control up to C9. Let's program a chord sequence on the Cream CM track to see what it can do. Feel free to enter your own sequence or use the one we've provided. You can find the MIDI file in the tutorial files folder. Play the chord sequence back. You'll hear Cream CM create a simple upwards arpeggiator pattern accompanied by visual feedback in the plugin's central window. All the standard arpeggiator controls such as octaves, rate and swing can be accessed from the pattern controls panel, and the arp's movement can be set with the play order setting in the pattern data panel. Cream CM refers to the currently active notes as the note list, and left to its own devices, it'll simply cycle through the list in the order defined by the play order setting. However, we can modify the order of notes with the order page in the central panel, which is already selected by default. Click the topmost box of the first 8 steps to set them to R&D. This randomizes which notes from the note list are played on these steps. Other commands we can use include low, play the lowest note of the note list, high, play the highest note of the note list, last, play the last note in the note list, first, play the first note in the note list, prev, play the same note as the previous step, and off, play nothing and don't advance the playlist. You can simply silence a particular step with the blue buttons at the very bottom of the panel. As well as modifying the order, we can also use the central window to adjust various other settings. Length is the length of each step relative to the current note length as defined by the rate parameter. Gate determines how quickly a note end message is sent. Accent controls the velocity of each step. Transpose controls the pitch of each step. Shift controls the start position of each step. And each step's rate is controlled by div. The seek screen works like the order screen but in a slightly different way. Here the buttons on each step represent the notes being played, with the lowest block representing the lowest note. Multiple blocks can be active, allowing us to program chords as part of our ARP sequence like so. The chord memory screen, can be used to switch between CreamCM's 4 chord memory slots. Let's take a look at how these work. Delete the existing MIDI part and replace it with this simple C2, F2, G2 sequence. Click the empty preset name slot at the top of CreamCM's interface and select the init option to initialize the plugin. In the chord memory panel at the bottom of CreamCM's interface, click the OK button next to where it says Major to load up the preset major chord on the virtual keyboard below. You can now add or remove notes manually by clicking on them. Let's take off that lowest C now. Click the chord mem button in the central window and click the lowest block in the first 8 steps. On playback, you'll hear that this instructs CreamCM to play our major chord for the first 2 beats of each bar. Click the number 2 button now, then click where it says Major to bring up a list of the available chord types. Select minor 9 and click the OK button to generate the chord. Now set the next 8 steps of the sequencer to the second lowest block like so. You can invert the chord in the chord memory by clicking the left and right inv buttons. Click right twice and we get something that sounds vaguely Vangelis-esque. We can create ever more complex sequences by using CreamCM's pattern sequencer. CreamCM has 4 pattern slots. Select slot 2 by clicking the 2 button above the step sequencer. Click on the pattern sequencer's power button to activate it, then set the second number in the top row to 2. Now when you play back your project, CreamCM will revert to the first pattern. Then after 32 steps, this length is specified in the second row, the pattern sequencer will swap to pattern 2. You can choose how many times the pattern is repeated with the bottom row. Finally, we can also use CreamCM to send MIDI CC messages. Click the CC1 button at the top right hand corner of the step sequencer. This selects the first of CreamCM's 8 available CC sequences. In the Teach CC panel to the right, set the CC number to 127 and activate the T button. Now right-click the cutoff knob in TuneCM and select MIDI Learn. CreamCM will teach TuneCM to use channel 127 for filter cutoff. Deactivate the T button. You can now use the step sequencer to set TuneCM's cutoff level. This feature will work with any instrument that has MIDI Learn capability.
Download over 30 exclusive plugins. Get hundreds of pro quality samples.
and power up your production skills with in-depth tutorials. We break it down for you step by step, and you'll see exactly how it's done in expert video guides and producer masterclass sessions with pro producers. Get all this and more with Computer Music Magazine every month on iPad and iPhone, PC and Mac, Android, and in print.